Welcome to The Whole You with Mary Beth and Gina, the Guru Girls.
Hello everyone, we are here today kind of in a fun space. We're in my kitchen, which is my favorite place to be. And we decided that we wanted to bring a fun cooking experience for you today with an alternative recipe.
Exactly. Something easy, simple. We know life's crazy, but nutritious as well. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we're going to make deviled eggs. And Mary Beth, so have you made deviled eggs before?
I have, yes. It's my favorite. Actually, it's an Easter tradition in my house. So.
Oh, yum. Okay, so tell me what your ingredients are.
Usually, it's very simple. I do an avocado mayonnaise, hard-boiled eggs. I'll mix the yolk with the avocado mayonnaise and some paprika, and then serve. Very simple, very easy.
Very simple. Okay, that's wonderful. So what I heard, I love the fact that you do avocado mayonnaise because that adds to the creaminess and the health, right?
Absolutely.
Gives it some nice avocado grease.
I can't do dairy.
Some nice avocado fat. Yes. So dairy. Yes. Okay, so let's talk about that. The reason that we wanted to do an alternative recipe is for those of us who can't have gluten, dairy, eggs. Well, eggs is going to work here today, but one of the reasons I chose deviled eggs is because the ingredient of deviled eggs, being mayonnaise, has vinegar in it. And vinegar is something that if you have a gluten problem, you also might need to stay away from vinegar.
Right.
Truth?
Yeah, that is truth.
Yes.
Yeah, depending on the type of vinegar.
Absolutely. So most mayonnaise, of course, come with vinegar. Even if you do a dairy-free mayonnaise, you still may encounter some that have vinegar in them. So I was put to the task a few months back with a friend of mine who was diagnosed with not being able to have vinegar or yeast. And it was very saddening for him because he loves things with vinegar. He's a salad guy. He loves salad dressings. He loves barbecue sauce, all this stuff. So I kind of have been developing stuff for him or giving him ideas on how to create some of this product without using vinegar.
Fantastic.
So one of the things that we decided to do with our deviled eggs is I'm going to show you a way to do it without using mayonnaise. Because mayonnaise, of course, is vinegar, oil, eggs, probably a little bit of salt.
And some of them have gluten in it.
And
gluten type
all kinds of icky stuff. So since we can't use mayonnaise because of the vinegar, then let's go ahead and try a different aspect. So what we've done here is boiled up some eggs. I put 4 of them. Not all of them are very pretty. You can see some of them didn't peel very well. And I know there are ways that you can boil eggs that help with the peeling. Sometimes you can boil them in salt or vinegar. Unfortunately, we can't use the vinegar, and I think adding extra salt to things just so that they look pretty is not probably the best idea. So I just boiled them just regular. Now these are with just water. These are free range, pasture raised actually eggs. So the difference between pasture raised eggs, if they're truly pasture raised, is that they likely are raised off of grass and bugs, which is the most wonderful thing for chickens to eat. I know even some organic urban farmers still feed their chickens corn. Or one of my friends, actually, she has an urban farm and she feeds her chickens wheat nubs. So I can't actually eat those eggs because they're consuming wheat, which is passed on to the egg. And so I get sick off of those eggs. Now these that are free range and pasture raised, I seem to be able to eat. Okay, I don't push it. I might have 2 a month, you know. But I did have 2 a couple of nights ago to test my theory, so I could be honest with you guys. I didn't take any digestive enzymes, and I didn't have any problems. So that tells me 2 things. My gut isn't leaky. Yay! And also that these are tolerable for me. So if you do have an issue with eggs, try free-range eggs, try pasture-raised eggs, and you might have a better chance of digesting them. So, anywho.
Before you go further, there's one thing. I know a trick with the peeling. I learned this, oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of which chef it was. After you dump the water, the hot water out, as you're running it under cold water, take ice cubes and throw them into your pan here.
Yeah.
And then let it sit for about 10-15 minutes. And that was a trick I just recently learned, and it does work.
And it works well.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
awesome. Well, this has been sitting in somewhat lukewarm water now for about 20 minutes. So I'm going to just go ahead and peel it.
Yeah.
You can see that I'm wearing a hairnet. Now, obviously, if you're making food for yourself or your family, hairnets are not required. If you're making food, to sell, you need to wear hairnets. And gloves if you are creating any product for the public. Gloves, often if it's food that is not going to be cooked, you'll want to use gloves when handling it. So, for example, the eggs have already been cooked, so when I handle them, I want to be able to be wearing my gloves. And I know you don't have to wear a hairnet when you aren't cooking for the public, if it is just for your family. But I like to use it for compassion because I don't know how many times, and maybe it's just because I'm kind of a germaphobe, I know. But I'll go to a friend's house or they'll bring something here and they're like, oh, it's gluten, it's dairy free, I didn't have anything touch it, and it always makes me uncomfortable anyway because I know their house has bread in it, and what if they touch the bread to the counter?
What if they cook in their oven?
Exactly. So I'm
Yeah.
always squeamish about it anyway, but the worst thing on earth is when you're dipping into something and there is this long old hair in it. And it's so disgusting. And I shed like a lion. And so, and it can happen in the easiest ways. They're just stirring their batter and they don't realize their hair's falling in. So at the very least, if you're not going to wear a hairnet, please, for the sake of your friends who have phobias like me, at least put your hair in a ponytail. Thank you.
See? Hair in a ponytail.
Hair in a ponytail. Off my soapbox.
That's right. No, I don't blame you.
Oh, it's just
My
awful.
daughter's the same way.
Is she?
Oh, yeah, totally.
good.
She thinks she's weird for it. I'm like, no.
No. And I wonder if it happens a lot with those of us with really long hair because
Yep.
our hair falls out all the time.
Correct.
And so I am
Constantly
always
shedding.
finding, yes, I'm finding hair everywhere and I try to be compassionate about that. All right, so I'm destroying this little egg here.
That's okay.
The other thing I do sometimes is I squish it. I'm going
Do
to
you look
try
at the color of the yolks?
So, I read something about the if the yolk is like beige or greenish gray around it, that it's overcooked. Did you know that?
Yeah, and that what you're looking for when you're like, let's say you're frying eggs on you want the egg to be as orange as possible.
For the nutrients.
Yeah, the more orange it is, the
Yes.
better quality it is.
Yes,
And
definitely.
people think that's weird.
No, and it's so true because I was raised on chicken eggs that were, from our backyard.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we killed those chickens every year too, but
Well,
so that was traumatic.
It became a meal. It fed you. Hey.
It did.
Yes.
But yeah, those eggs were so rich and orange. The yolks were so rich and orange, and duck eggs too. They seem to have more nutrients or something because they are
Eggs
really
good,
nice.
Good source of nutrition.
All right, my friends. So I did this out of order, and I'm gonna let you handle the. No, you didn't wash your hands, did you?
I didn't.
So hold on.
So she's the cook. She's the chef. She's going to do all the prepping.
and
I'm going to sit here and learn.
she's gonna just watch me.
I'm going to totally watch you.
And I wanted to actually prepare the avocado first just because I didn't want to touch the avocado with my gloves. Why? Because we don't know where this has been.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I just want to make sure, because I always think about, and I'm kind of phobic about celiac as well. I don't know that I am, but I am phobic to the point where I say, okay, well, I rinsed this off, but was the stocking kid at the grocery store eating chips while they were stocking, and those chips had gluten in them.
Or did he just get through with a sandwich that he had at lunch?
Exactly.
And he didn't wash his hands and he's touching.
Yeah, so I find that that's just something that I think about a lot. If you don't know the trick to getting the shell or the nut out of, what is it called, the seed out of an avocado, you can use a knife. Just don't kill yourself
I call
with
it the pit.
The pit. That's exactly what it is. The pit. And I actually have cut myself doing that before, so just be careful. All right, friends, now I'm going to put these back on.
I love it.
Mary Beth's thinking, oh my God, Gina is
No.
freakazoid.
This is your professional kitchen. You gotta do what you gotta do.
It's so true.
I have a lot of respect for it, actually.
Well, it's so funny because sometimes my friends will come over and I'll be wearing my hairnet, getting ready to bake or doing it for a party or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, you really do follow the rules." I'm like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't I? It's my business. It's my livelihood. It's my
Exactly.
clients. I would never want to harm anybody,
No.
So I follow the rules. I am a rule follower, and I get made fun of it all the time, folks.
There's two of us. I'm the same way.
High five.
I am not a rebel. It doesn't work for me because I get in trouble.
Yes, I get that. So, oops, I didn't want to touch that one. So, okay, so here's my thoughts.
Yes.
Vinegar is in mayonnaise, right?
Yes, correct.
Mayonnaise is the way we get the creaminess of the yolk for the deviled egg.
It's true.
So I want you guys at home to think about, and this is just a suggestion from me and what I think of as creaminess, but what do you find that makes your products, your food, creamy? So I think of coconut oil.
Yep.
I think of cocoa butter, which is not relevant in this case.
Yes. No. You went on to.
And avocado.
Yeah. Exactly.
So what I do is I like to take the mayonnaise and replace it with avocado. And if you like, and we'll get into that in a second. So I didn't actually boil these quite enough. They're just a tiniest little bit dark in the center, so they're not actually completely done, but they'll be done enough. And so not really all that deep orange, are they?
No, they're pretty yellow.
It's surprising for a pasture-raised
I mean, I would
organic
say they're
product.
probably about a medium yellow,
Yeah. So
which is usually surprising.
yeah, because they're supposed to be.
They're usually closer to orange, dark yellow or almost orange.
And they say they're organic, so that's something to think about when you are eating something that's organic or you're buying something organic. How organic is it,
Yeah, correct.
right?
That's a good point.
I know there's certain rules that somebody has to follow in order to put organic on their product, but it's not always as healthy as you would think.
No, and there's a certain caveat within that they can get away with. And that's when you question the purity of it.
Yeah, totally. And I'm just totally
Well, like
destroying
oats.
these
We
eggs.
talk about gluten-free oats, and people are like, well, why can oats sometimes not be gluten-free? Well, lots of reasons. What are they planted next to?
Yes.
In the farm field? What kind of processing plants are they being put together, so to speak, packaged in? Those are questions you want to ask. So when you look for your gluten-free oats, just see if it was in a gluten-free facility. You have a better chance of it, but what's guaranteed, things blow in the wind. If it's on a farm and you can't control what's around it, then that's where you can run into problems.
Yeah,
if you're highly
seeding.
sensitive.
That seeding and gestation, when the winds blow the seeds across, you could end up with a hybrid of oats and gluten.
Yeah.
Oats and
Sort
wheat.
of wheat in there, yeah.
So
Exactly.
it can be problematic. So I just totally destroyed these eggs. But the easy way to do this, if I was making it for a client, you just put the half in your hand. You kind of pull back just a little bit until you see the yolk pop free, and then you just scoop it out. Okay, so now I have my ugly eggs and I have my half-cooked yolks. We are on a roll!
Yay!
All right, I'm going to move these guys over. And so one of the other things that, and by the way, this avocado is not ripe enough. So if you are planning on doing this with avocado instead of mayonnaise, you'll want to make sure that they're ripe enough to actually just squish pretty
Yeah, when
easily.
you hold it.
Yeah, because this one is not. And obviously you can get organic ones if you would like. We haven't done the grocery store series yet.
No.
But for those people at home who don't know how to identify organic produce, what tips can you give them?
Oh, a good place to start, like if you're on a budget, is the Clean 15 Dirty Dozen that the Environmental Working Group puts out every year. And I really like the products that are shown on the Environmental Working Group, because it doesn't just include the foods, but it also includes like skincare. What they do is they do everything third party, so they take their money from people donating from the public to support them, and they do third-party research on everything, so they have no tie into a company in any way, shape, or form. I'm a huge fan of them, and I always believe in supporting them. And they have this wonderful list that they come out with every year called the Dirty Dozen Clean 15, and it tells you which ones you absolutely have to buy organic. No ifs, ands, or buts. And then those that, if you are really, really on a tight budget, that you can buy non-organic and you're safe. It's a little safer to eat that way. So yeah, it's ewg.org, I believe, is the website. We'll make sure we post that for you here. And yeah, so when you're looking for your avocados, you want to make sure, like she said, that they're squishy so that they're easy to kind of break down when you are doing what she's doing right here.
And you know, sometimes when you find one in an organic section of a grocery store, you may want to check the ID tag on it. There's a USDA ID tag on most produce that is sold in major grocery stores. For example, avocado is, for a small avocado, it's 46, and for larger avocados, it's 4225. So that's basically the PLU that's rung in at the register. It's how, for years, the grocers have been able to identify the product to be able to price it appropriately. And so one of the ways to look at it, if you want to find an organic version of your product, is to make sure that it has a 9 in front of it. A 9406 or a 94225 will get you an organic version of your favorite fruit or vegetable. So just a little hint if you didn't know that about your grocer. Because sometimes you may be picking up a piece of fruit out of the organic section, but it's not, because it's only got a 4225 because somebody took one and just replaced it, you know, decided that one looked prettier because they weren't really concerned about it. Okay, now the amounts that you put in with your avocado, it's basically going to be to taste. So always try to do less is more. Mine are really nice and green here.
That's good.
Really green, and they're getting creamier. But less is more when you're doing this by taste, because making deviled eggs is completely by taste. There's no such thing as a recipe, because you may want yours more tart or more creamy or saltier or less, you know, whatever. So it's always good to just kind of know what you like and then just start adding and tasting as you go. I like mine to be green. Okay, so here I've got my avocado and my yolks mixed in. And the avocado, like I said, is not that smooth, so this one's going to be chunky. But if you get a nice smooth avocado, it won't be chunky. Okay, one of the other, I'm going to grab a paper towel here. One of the other ingredients that a lot of people really enjoy, which makes them sad when they can't have vinegar, is mustard.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I love mustard.
So mustard, of course, if you get yellow mustard, brown mustard, spicy mustard, whatever, most of the time you're going to find vinegar.
Yeah, you can find some gluten-free ones on the market, which are usually then the gluten-free type vinegars.
Yeah, like a red wine vinegar or
balsamic. But usually the white wine vinegars you really want to avoid.
Yes, and if you can't have vinegar.
Not white wine, I'm sorry.
The white distilled white vinegar.
White vinegar, yes.
Yes, you'll want to avoid that. And then, of course, if you are sensitive to vinegar in general, even the red wine vinegar or the balsamic vinegar,
or
your tummy just doesn't like it, you have yeast issues, mustard's a no-no.
Correct.
But you can make your own, okay? So we are actually going to make a little bit of kind of a little mustardy stuff, okay? And I need to get another little cup, so hold please.
I love this. Mustard's my favorite condiment.
Really?
Yes. I am not a ketchup person. I am really not a mayonnaise person, with the exception I like the avocado mayonnaise for, like, if I do tuna salad or if I do like this, deviled eggs. But I love mustard since I was a kid.
Mustard is really fun. I do like it. I like it as an accent because it's a bit of a spice. I love the brown mustard and the spice mustard.
Me too. That's my favorite.
But yeah, and it can be a little tangy. And I'm not a huge tang person, but I do like mustard. So I'm going to set aside my green mess right here. And we're going to look at this vinegar. I'm sorry. No, this is water. This is not vinegar. I'm going to poison you all. This is just water, is all I've put in here. Okay, so water.
How much water would you
say
about?
And mustard. It kind of depends on how much you want to make.
Okay.
So you want to make it into a nice paste.
Got it.
Okay. Now, the pasty consistency, of course, depends if you want spreadable, if you want squirtable, if you want just to add it to your recipe and stir it in. It really is just up to you. Okay. For this one, we don't really need it to be all that wet, although, because this is kind of pasty right here, because my avocado is not all that creamy because it wasn't very ripe, I'm probably going to add a little bit more liquid to my mustard.
Okay.
So I've added here probably a tablespoon of water is what I've put in here. And I'm going to take and grab some mustard powder.
Yum.
So the mustard powder you can get, there's mustard seed and there's mustard powder. So remember, the mustard powder is what you want, unless you want to grind your seed to, you know, which you might be able to do in a coffee thing. I'm not exactly
Coffee
sure.
grinder? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not an expert on turning seeds into powder. But again, you want to do less is more, so you just want to create until it is the consistency and flavor that you want, okay? Now with a tablespoon of water, you want to add quite a bit of mustard. And if you,
it's dissolving.
yeah, so you see how it's starting to become a little bit more of a mustard texture,
Yes.
okay? If you're not going to use this in another recipe, you could add just a tinge of salt, just a tiny little bit to it if you like salt, and because it kind of helps merge the flavors.
And what kind of salts do you recommend?
I use a sea salt. I particularly like the pink Himalayan just because of the natural minerals.
Yes.
Sea salt is great. I try not to do an iodinized salt.
Yes. Yeah.
So I do have clients who are allergic to iodine, and you can tell us the pros and cons about that.
Well, yeah, and with the Himalayan too, it's great for perimenopausal women, but postmenopausal, you would want to go to a Celtic sea salt because of the iron levels in Himalayan. You don't need as much iron because you're not having the monthly
Good thinking.
blood loss. So
Celtic sea
yeah,
salt.
so after postmenopausal, you want it to be Celtic, and for men, Celtic is better too.
Yes.
And then Himalayan is great for women that are premenopausal.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
She's such a wealth of information. I just love it. So we can go ahead and taste this and just see where we are, because there's
Yeah.
more ingredients we can add. Do you want to put this on the back of your hand too?
Yes.
Just see if you like it. Okay, so it's our first step. So we've got a really sharp mustard here.
Yes, very sharp.
Okay, so I'm going to add actually I need just a little bit more water too. Hold on. Just for our recipe here. Okay, so ours is a little bit more watered down, so it will be less sharp, as well as gives us some more liquid for our green paste over there.
Love
Okay, now, some people also want the tart that comes with the pungent feeling that they're having, the vinegar.
Yeah.
So in their salad dressings, in their mustard, in their mayonnaise, those types of foods, I think there's a sense of normalcy when you can have it taste like the original. Yeah?
Correct. It's true.
So if you can't add vinegar, there are other things that you can add that have that kind of, what am I trying to say? It's not sour. What is the flavor? Like,
Not bitter, sour, tart.
the pungency. I can't even think of the word I'm thinking of right now, but you know what I mean, that sharpness that you can get, the tanginess.
Tangy. Thank you.
Yes!
I was like, it's at the tip of my tongue, and why am I not thinking of it?
The sours come to
You got the
us.
sweet, the bitter, that I'm going through everything.
Yes,
Tangy.
the tanginess. Okay, so things that we can make are tangy. Think about citrus is tangy. So we have grapefruit, we can use lime, we can use lemon. Okay, citric acid in general. So one thing that I like to use is the citric acid that has been curing vinegar-free olives or vinegar-free pickles. Then you have a little bit of a dill-flavored mustard or an olive-flavored mustard. So I don't have any of those olives. Only olives I have right now are vinegar ones, but you can get like Bubby's pickles are citric acid pickles. And there's also a version of, I think Mazzetti's olives actually makes one with citric acid in it. But just make sure in your olive oil, just look at all the ingredients and you'll see one that just is cured with citric acid and maybe even celery seed, which is also a preservative that you can find that helps preserve some of these foods naturally instead of nitrates and things of that sort. So I've chosen to use a little bit of lemon juice for my zing. I don't have enough spoons on my table here. Again, you don't need a lot. It's going to be just a matter of what you want to do to taste. So I'm just doing drops here.
Love it.
And I'm going to add just a titch of my sea salt. Now mind you, this is going to go into our eggs. So this may or may not be sandwich ready. I'm going to taste this before I let you taste it because it might be awful. I think it's good. You may hate it. You want to try it?
I hate it.
I don't know.
You're so funny.
I think it would be better with the olive juice, citric acid olive juice, but I don't have any of that and I don't want to use something that
No, I think we're good.
has a fun tang, right?
It does, it does.
So that
It's
was
a nice
like
little bite.
maybe 5 drops of lemon juice. But again, we're making like 2 tablespoons is all we're making here.
Yeah. It's good.
Okay, yay. So now we need to add just a little bit of salt here too. And I'm just doing pinches. I do scant and pinch, and because I'm really much more of a make it to taste kind of person, and I hate too much salt, so I never give people salt in their recipes, just so they can do that on their own. Okay, so there's no salt in this at all. Do you want to try it, or are you okay?
I'm okay. I'm
Okay.
good.
So let's go ahead and add just a little bit. I'm only using maybe a half teaspoon here
I love it.
of our mustard.
This is a great after-school snack too with kiddos.
So wonderful.
Oh my gosh, so
Protein and
easy to
healthy
make.
fats.
You can pre-make it, then have it ready to go when they walk in the door.
Mm-hmm. Come on. Yay. That's a big jump. I think it's zazzy,
Awesome.
as Sheldon would say. Do you want to try it?
I trust you. I want to taste the finished product, man. I'm dying.
All right. That could be my cue to hurry up.
No, it's not. Not at all.
Okay, I added just a little tiny titch more. So you can see that our creaminess is a lot better now. And we wouldn't have to make the mustard as yogurty. Liquidy.
I was like, wow,
Wow,
that's
I
a
don't
new
know
term.
where my brain is.
It's kind of overcast and cool today. I think it's just kind of got everybody feeling a little.
I think I just babble. You're just being too kind because I just babble. That is the thing. All right, friends. So the next thing that we would do is we can use a decorating piping. You know, you can put it into a little piper with a decorating tip, and you can squeeze it in with whatever really pretty shapes you want. But
sometimes having the kids help out with that part is a great way to involve them.
So much fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or you can just scoop in however much you like. Some people don't like too much, and they like the flavor of the white better, so they just do a little bit. Just like my old
How do you like
peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, I love to fill it really full. So when I used to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, which I still do, but not peanut butter because I can't have peanuts anymore. But I do my pick almond crunch nut butter.
Awesome.
So yummy.
Nut butter. It's one of my favorites.
So what
She gave me some last week. I can't
and
stop
you,
eating it.
Yay! I'm so glad.
It's my favorite. There's nothing else in the market that compares to it.
Really?
Oh yeah, no, I love it. I love it. And I'll eat it straight too, like as a quick snack and pick me up. Yeah.
So yummy.
I know,
Oh my
it really
gosh.
is.
I use it for everything. I just love it. But I used to take one piece of bread because I don't want to eat too many carbs. So I would do one piece of bread and I would take this strawberry preserves that I get from Costco, which is wonderful because it has so low sugar. It's like 6 grams per serving.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah.
So low. So I put a lot on it. And then I would take my peanut butter or my nut butter, which I still do, and I put a whole bunch on so that when you fold it and you bite it, it oozes.
Ooh, I love it.
Yes. So
ooh, yum.
I'm an oozer. I just love stuff that's just so full. It just feels like abundance, and it's fun, and it's yummy. And clearly the jelly and the peanut butter combination or the nut butter combination is much more important to me than the bread. So, but I know there's some people that bread is their end all, you know.
It is.
My friend and my spiritual mentor Blue Feather, she swears by the bread in the East Coast because the water is different, so it makes a nice chewy Italian bread. And bread is very important for her palate.
Yeah.
I've learned to not care about bread anymore because
Too. Yeah.
it's too hard to find gluten-free bread that's decent.
My favorite was sourdough. Back in the day, I used to love a really good sourdough. So I just have found alternatives when I want bread.
That's great. I'm trying to reverse engineer my platinum flour from Australia, which I'll tell you guys another day about that story. But once I get that, then I'll actually be able to make loaves that are very similar to Italian bread.
Oh my goodness, cannot wait. I know, because there's just every so often I just want a piece of bread. I want toast.
Totally.
Now I've found some good gluten-free options, but I get it.
Do you use out of the bread box?
Outside the Bread Box is one. It's a local Colorado Springs company here. And then Canyon Ranch, I've gotten some of their loaves too, and I've been pretty happy with their gluten-free loaves. Yeah.
There's a char bread, was one I discovered when I was in Switzerland a few years ago. And that's amazing if you can find the real char bread here. It has to be an imported one because the American version of it is not as good. But that's a really nice one that actually folds. So you can put a piece of salami and a piece of turkey on and actually fold it and feel like you're eating real bread.
That's nice.
Yep. And the other one that I really like, it's not Rudy's, it's the other one that you can get at like King Soopers. And as bread, it's horrible. But as toast, it is freaking amazing. And I can't remember the name of it, but when I do, I will put it in our notes.
Yes.
Because it is so good.
Please
you
do.
know, it is just, I was amazed because I can't stand it as bread. And I was like, oh, that's all I have. I'll just toast it and make it edible. And boy, was it edible. It was really good. Okay, friends, here we have our green deviled eggs. And Miss Mary Beth, would you like to try one?
I would love to.
I'm scared.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yes.
I'm a foodie at heart. Oh, that's really good.
Really?
Yeah, I like the flavors in the yolk mix here with the avocados, with the egg white.
Yay!
It's really, really good.
Good.
Oh, this is great.
Awesome. And you can
It's so easy.
put a, paprika or cayenne, whatever you want on top as well to give it more of a punch. But yeah?
Oh yeah, really, really
Yay!
good. Yeah.
Thank you. I don't want to try one because I forced myself. I mean, I ate eggs 2 days ago, so I shouldn't push it.
Just be careful.
Yes.
This
Okay.
is awesome. And easy.
And
Step by step.
And
Followed.
I talk too much, so you really can make it in half the time.
We like to keep you entertained.
All right, friends. Thank you. If you have any questions, let us know down below in the comments. What is it? They need to follow us, like us,
The little bell.
click
Select
the little bell, subscribe to us. We are the
so you
Guru
know when
Girls.
I know. This is so much fun. And we look forward to our next episode.
Yes. What is our topic?
I don't know. We have to figure that out. It's going to be a surprise.
It's going to be a surprise.
But we are working our way towards closer to Thanksgiving, doing like some alternatives, maybe having prepared a dish that would be a gluten-free, dairy-free option.
Ooh.
A favorite traditional treat maybe of Thanksgiving that we can
Ooh,
show
like
you
a
how to
mashed
make
potato.
it. Yes, exactly. So we're working our way towards that Thanksgiving menu, but yeah, and if you have any suggestions or ideas, things you want to hear about, post below as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We
Thank
love you.
Have a great day, guys.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.